On this day, 233 years ago, the Founding Fathers signed the most important document in American history, the U.S. Constitution. Wise men raised up by God for that very purpose. The founders penned the Declaration of Independence first to radically declare that all men are created equal, with certain rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But the Constitution was the document they drafted later to safeguard those rights. After being subjected to tyranny and oppression under the rule of the King of England, they knew that they needed to secure those rights, often from government itself. And so in the Constitution, they drafted a legal framework for our government that would have checks and balances or structural protections embedded within it to preserve our liberty. They designed the so-called horizontal protection of the separation of powers, dividing the federal government into three coordinate branches: the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. And at the same time, they designed the so-called vertical protection of federalism, designating the few and defined powers of the federal government, and then leaving all the rest up to states and localities. It was, of course, no accident that they put such specific limits on the role of the federal government. They did so precisely to keep power close and accountable to the people, and to allow a diverse, tolerant, pluralistic union of states and localities, where each could be governed according to the values and priorities of its citizens. I'm proud that here in Utah, our strong local communities have a legacy of doing just that. So on this Constitution Day in 2020, now more than ever, we must adhere to the ideals and protections enshrined in this document. They've kept us free and united within and throughout our nation over the last 233 years. And they can do so for another 233, if only we hold true to them.